But football without fans, you play a football match without fans, it can be the greatest game in the world. If there are no people there to watch it, it becomes nothing.
And to Johnson. Johnson. And a goal by Johnson. Larson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! Nakamura! He has done it! Isn't that just typical?
The game is over. The Rebels have won. Champions, that's who we are.
Hello Jungle Gyms, welcome to the Jungle Gyms podcast. Today is Tuesday the 6th of September and it's a big day today, guys. It's the opening game of the Champions League. It's against Real Madrid. Paddy, you're with me. How do you feel?
Yes, here I am, mate, report live from Celtic Park, all that jazz. Yes, mate, absolutely delighted to be at the game. As you can see, Celtic Park in the backdrop. The Celtic team buses just arrived about maybe 10 minutes ago. Rapturous welcomes, as you can imagine. The supporters at the stadium are up for it, and hopefully the team's up for it as well, mate.
Oh, I think they will be, Paddy. I really think they will. I think I've seen the lineup for Madrid. Did you post that in the group chat? But
I did, it's very formidable.
Oh, it will be. I mean, anything that Real Madrid put up is going to be 10 times better than what we can put up. But all we can do is keep doing what we've done the last few games and kind of put on a show, put on a performance and do our thing. I think we could possibly sneak something if we show up all guns blazing here. What do you think, Paddy?
Well, it's been a terrible day in Glasgow, mate. It's been raining, there's been thunder, so Celtic's really going to need to bring the lightning tonight. As cheesy as that sounds, we're going to need to be fast, sharp, quick, we're going to need to be at Real Madrid all the time. It's probably the only thing that we can do to kind of nullify them is to press them and is to harry them, it's to make them make mistakes and take our chances, obviously.
Yeah.
If we get chances, that is.
If we get it, but I think we will. I think we will get chances. I think you look at Andrew's comments yesterday, was it, where he basically says, what's the point in practicing and playing this football all season long, to then
Yes.
the one thing when you want to step it up against these people and kind of judge yourself at the top table, what's the point in doing it if you're just going to cower away?
Exactly, mate. And I've been banging that drum for weeks, for months. As soon as we heard the group, the names that was mentioned, Real Madrid, blah blah blah, I was banging that drum. Listen, give us the hardest group, give us the hardest teams, because it's the only way that we're going to make ourselves better as a club, is that we come up against the best and we try and face the best. There's no point in shirking and hiding and being fearful, because if you be fearful, then you can't reap the rewards if you do get anything. And if we want to grow as a club, then we need to take the game to the best. And there's no better than Real Madrid, 14-time European Cup winners, current Champions League winners, current World Cup club winners. So there's no better test, mate. And first opening game, Real Madrid, Glasgow. Wow, bring it on, man.
Bring it on. Home as well. It's just the way you want it to be. For me, I'm really glad that both the Real Madrid games kind of like bookending the whole campaign, because we don't really surely expect to get too much against Real Madrid, either at home or away. It's really 6 points that we're.
I'm sorry to cut you off, mate. I think that's the Real Madrid team buses coming in.
Oh, anybody limping? Anybody falling down the stairs?
Give me 2 minutes to run on slide tackle, man.
If you could take it back, that'd be handy.
That's definitely them. I don't know if you can hear it from here, but there's plenty of beers ringing out. So
I can certainly hear some of the whistles and the shouts in the background there.
Good stuff.
I hear the songs starting to come out as well.
Yeah, that's it starting.
Is that another bus going up there?
No, there's two buses in there now. That's the Mercy.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, the flares get lit up as well. Good. Give them a good reception.
Good. Let them feel the atmosphere.
Yes.
If you want them to feel like coming to Celtic Park is somewhere to fear, somewhere to say you've played there and they've won it. Hopefully they don't win there here, but if they can walk away thinking, what an experience, what an atmosphere, that's somewhere we want to go back to again. And that's good enough for me. As a fan, what I expect, I mean, I would love to get 3 points. I would love to get even a point out of it. I would love just to score a goal, which I think we're more than capable of.
Yep.
But we've got to all be realistic, guys. We aren't realistically going to win this game. So take it, enjoy it, and be part of the atmosphere, be part of the spectacle of it, and put on a good show. Show the world our football.
Never say never, mate. Obviously, there's talk about Real Madrid being notoriously slow starters in the competition. Obviously, last year, I think it was last year or the year before, it was Sheriff that took advantage of that, beat them in the first game. Could have been an anomaly, could have been a sucker punch, whatever it might be. But listen, Celtic are more than capable of doing that. You know what I mean? We've shown that we can play football the right way. We've shown that we can be ferocious, show intensity. We can score goals. We can score goals from everywhere. We're not just dependent on one player like a striker or this and that. There's goals everywhere in this team. Yeah. And on a night like this, what's to fear? Just go out, play them, enjoy yourself. First and foremost, that's what it's all about, mate. We're in the Champions League. We're here to enjoy ourselves. Just go and play our own game. What will be will be. As long as we give them a fight and we send them home to Real Madrid thinking, God, even if they do win this, we've had to work bloody hard for it.
No, definitely. I think we'll make them work hard for it. Something I wanted to ask you, Paddy, and I wish Gavin was here as well, because I'd love to ask him the same question. I think Gavin's probably got a good opinion on this. So if we go back a few years to the last time we were in the Champions League, I think that would be under Brendan Rodgers.
2017-18 season, I think it was.
Something about that, yeah. And you look at some of the performances, and especially the results. I mean, your Barcelonas and your PSGs were scudding us 7 goals at times. It really wasn't something to be proud of.
No.
It's one thing for me to sit here and say, I just want to enjoy the spectacle. I want to show what Celtic Football Club's all about these days. I just want to see us try hard and put on a good show. That's one thing, but I also don't want us to get scudded. Do you think the difference between Brendan Rodgers back then with possession-based football for the sake of possession-based football, trying to slow the game down at times and trying to almost go kind of not toe-to-toe, but almost kind of outsmart the opponents? Do you think that was a wise thing then? Or do you think Ange Postecoglou's more attacking, really high intensity, where he's going to push forward straight from the off, he's going to get in their faces, and it might leave us open, it might leave us vulnerable, we still might get beat 7-0. But do you think that would be a better way to try and go for it, to see what that can yield?
Oh, it depends, mate. Like if you hark back to Brendan Rodgers' first season in the Champions League and you look back at that first game against Man City, it was a proper old swashbuckling game. Man City, Pep Guardiola wasn't there too long at the time. He was still kind of setting up his team in his style and his fashion, and we went ahead 3 times. So Man City had to equalise against us 3 times, but that was because we simply went out and we attacked them. Now, what we've done so many times in Europe and what we did in the other campaign under Brendan Rodgers was that we tried to be far too pragmatic, if you ask me. We tried we tried to buy into this game where we had to kind of keep possession and we couldn't lose the ball. But then when you do that, you're not good enough. You're not a good enough team to be doing that. So what Celtic need to do is play to their strengths and stop giving teams like Real Madrid, your PSGs, your Barcelonas, all the time in the world to be on the ball and to play their game. Look at the way that we're nullifying teams in now.
While you're speaking there, just to cut in, I think you're...
Is that the team in? I've just had the notification now.
Yeah, so I'll run it through here, guys. We're seeing it on the side. I see a couple of comments that mention that the team's been made up, so this is good to see. Paddy, you posted in the group chat a little test page that looked like one of the...
there was one doing the rounds in the WhatsApp today, mate.
That's not true. I'll put it out. So we've got Joe Hart in goals, as expected. Juranovic on the right side of the defence, with Jens and Carter Vickers, and then Taylor's making up the rest of the defence on the left side. Your midfield 3 is exactly as you expect it for the rest of the season. McGregor, O'Reilly and Hatate. We've then got Jota on the left, Abada on the right, and your big Greek man with Palmer. You'll love it. Giamakis right through the middle. I think... Right, but
obviously that's a shame to see Kyogo no starting, but I'm delighted with Giamakis.
Well, Kyogo is on the bench. Quickly run through that. Baines, Siegrist, Kyogo, Haksabanovic, Moy, Turnbull, Welsh, Ralston, Forrest, Maeda, Benabai, and McCarthy, so very much expected. I think Kyogo's probably still carrying a little bit of a knock. I know he's been training. I know we've said that he's running all fine, but I think there's a two-thinking process there. 1, slight knock. He can come off the bench if you need to. But 2, Giamakis' height and presence and his strength. I think that is going to be a bit of a focal point. I think we might see a lot of Hatate's long-range passes that he was doing at the weekend there onto the right wing.
Well, I think where that might come into play tonight is, mate, if you look at Real Madrid's team, so they're 2 centre-backs, the only true centre-backs. You know, you've got that boy Adam Leishal, who's more or less a right back. You've got David Alaba, brilliant player, world class. He's more of a fullback. You know, these two guys are playing at centre half, so we're going to need to get somebody in there who can have a go at them, have a bully. You know, don't be intimidated. Fucking just go for it. Just smash them. Absolutely smash them. Get in about it, and hopefully the rest of the team backs them up.
I think we will. I think, yeah, I'm actually really confident with that team. Again, like I said at the start of the podcast, it's only 10 minutes ago, by the way. I know this one is a short one, guys, for anybody who is watching. This is an unusual podcast event for us tonight, so we're doing a quick one for the pre-match. We're going to do
And a live one, mate. Live correspondent here from Celtic Park.
We're going to do another 10-15 minutes of this now that the team's out. Paddy's going to get in amongst it with some of the supporters as he makes his way up there. I don't think he'll get anybody on. But,
none of that shit, mate. None of that shit.
I'll let Paddy soon enough get to his seat and enjoy the atmosphere. And we can all get ready for watching this game as well.
Well, listen, see when we're talking about the lineup, buddy, I think the only kind of question marks I know is over the ends. Now, I know he's performed well domestically. I know he's been a bit of a fan favourite since he's come in. He's done really, really well. But this is going to be a big test for him. It's much the same as like guys like O'Reilly and whatnot, who haven't had Champions League. But, you know, I think just defence-wise, obviously, you're coming up against one of the best strikers, the most elite world-class strikers in living history, football history. Benzema, you know, multiple World Cup winner, multiple Champions League winner, World Cup winner, I think. Just a top class striker. So that's going to be a tough test. So you're hoping Vickers is going to be able to be the guy that marshals him, and Jens kind of picks up the stragglers, the runners. You've obviously you've got a two-man sitting midfield probably.
And it looks like we're losing a bit of Paddy there. Probably a connection issue. That he's back. Paddy.
Sorry, mate, I was getting a phone call there. So you're going to have the two sitting midfielders, probably three sitting midfielders: Camavinga, Valverde, and of course, you know, guy that needs no introduction, Luka Modric, who, of course, has got a bit of a connection here with Celtic Park, being the fully fledged full first cousin of one Marco Viduka, as we spoke about before, mate.
Yes, he has indeed. So I'm just looking at that lineup for Real Madrid there as well. I mean, it's Uzi's quality and class. But I'm going to go back to what I said at the start. If we take our game to Real Madrid, I think there's potentially something in this. However, as you just said about Carter Vickers picking up the likes of Benzema, we need our back line to be on point. It's a strong back line. We saw it last year. Once we got going, I think we had the best defence in the league last year. But we did leak goals throughout the European competitions, which all admittedly was a defence that is trying to get used to itself and trying to learn each other. So we should be better equipped this year. But as you said, we'll come up against Benzema. He's one of the greatest players in the world right now, one of the best strikers in the last 20 years easily. It's going to take a back line, all five of them, at the top of the game.
I mean, Benzema has been a guy who's been kind of let off the leash since Ronaldo left Real Madrid. You know, he was the guy who was the foil for Ronaldo, made a lot of goals for him, did a lot of the dirty work, kind of a wee bit similar to what Giakoumakis has been doing for the team. But as I say, since Ronaldo left, he's went right back to being this fucking predatory goal scorer. So listen, you don't need to really explain Benzema, Modric, guys like this, Kroos, who hasn't even playing. It's a world class team, but listen, can't even fear. Was that?
Toni Kroos is playing.
Was he? Right, okay. Can't see the lineups.
I just had to double check there. I was like,
listen, you can't be scared of him. You know, you're going to have Juranovic on the right hand side. He'll be up against, I would imagine, Vinicius Junior, and then Greg Taylor will be up against, who's it, Rodrigo? Will be the kind of two wingers. Very tricky.
On the bench, he looks like.
Oh, sorry. Do you know what, mate? Sorry, I'm still getting off this bloody fucking WhatsApp lineup fairly on. The fake one.
I'm going off the one that you posted on my page 28 minutes ago, apparently. So I hope that is real. So I'm telling everybody on here the wrong information.
No, that's the one that's come up.
But no, how's things feeling at the stadium just now, Paddy? You've been here now an extra 15 minutes since we started coming on. Is the crowd starting to pick up?
Yes, mate. I came down a wee bit early, obviously, to kind of soak up the atmosphere. As you can imagine, there was a big crowd that gathered at the Celtic Way, waiting for the team buses to come in. To say the two Celtic team buses came in about 20 minutes ago. Brilliant applause, brilliant welcome. There's a real feeling here, a real buzz. You know, it's Champions League lights are back. You know, you've got the Champions League flag up. It's there. The lights are on. It's back, baby. It's back in paradise. You know.
Do you think we'll get the disco lights? Is it going to get dark enough?
Oh, listen, the lights are on the now. They're on the now, mate.
The actual disco.
Well.
So a couple more questions, Paddy, before we wrap it up and before we let you go and let the guys settle into the pre-match routines. A couple of questions for you. Who do you think is going to be the standout performance for Celtic tonight?
I think you're going to need to look at the likes of Jota. You're going to need to get a massive performance out of him. You know, if he wants to showcase his skills and shows what he's all about, there's no better team to do it against. I think for me, the biggest performers tonight have got to be the defence, regardless, because we know what Celtic can do, mate. We know they can score goals. We know they can score goals from everywhere, and I'm confident that we'll score at least one goal tonight. But it's all down to how our defence manages this amazing world-class team under a widely experienced world-class manager and Ancelotti. You know, he'll have been watching the games. He'll have done his homework. He'll be using every single bit of education that he's learned in his 30, 40 years coaching at the highest level. You know, Milan, PSG, Bayern Munich. Who else? Evan.
Your Chelsea's, Everton's. Aye. He's been everywhere. He's won almost everything. I think, if not everything. He's not going to take the Celtic team for granted. He's not going to. I mean, everybody around Europe knows who Ange Postecoglou is right now. As much as Celtic aren't the biggest club that we once were, even 15, 20 years ago, Celtic are still known around Europe and around the world. So when Ange comes in last year and he makes that impact compared to the 10 in a row season under Neil Lennon, that makes the headlines in the football world. We might not see the headline in Spanish football, we might not see the headline in the German media, but your German managers, your Spanish managers, your Italian managers, they're all keeping knowledge of everything that's going on. These guys will be understanding who Ange Postecoglou is right now, and they'll not take us for granted. I think they'll step up the game massively, and it's up to us to step it up again. Then, for me, standout performances, or if everybody steps up, I think I've got a wee love affair for him just now, but I really think Abada might just blow us away tonight. I think he might just be really direct. He's got a lot of strength and a lot of pace going forward. I think he'll just cause them problems going down that right side and cutting in. I think if a goal's going to come, it's potentially going to come out of him in some fashion.
Well, you know, there's a lot of talk about kind of Celtic's approach, and when we attack, we leave spaces at the back, but so can Real Madrid, because Mendy's a guy who'll get up the park. So will Carvajal, you know. But that'll be the job of their midfield. You know, guys like Valverde, who is, for want of a word, a proper defensive midfielder. Uruguayan international. I think he's world class, and I think he's a top player. So he'll protect the defence, you know. But they will leave space. But we're going to have to be as clinical as we've ever been, you know, to take anything tonight. But as I say, I think everybody's coming in tonight with a good feeling, you know. Had this been any other season, any other start to a season, and we're playing the Champions League, the first game against Real Madrid, I think everybody probably would have been shiting their pants. But now there's a proper buzz about Celtic Park again. It's down to the manager, it's down to the team, it's the way we're playing, and we've actually got faith. We've actually got faith that we can go in there tonight and do something to the best team in the world, the most successful footballing team in the world ever.
Yep.
Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. That's the best team ever, the most successful team in the world, against one of the most decorated managers in history. So this is a night that we go out and enjoy it. You know, this is a night when we go out and showcase Celtic. This is a night when we go out and show the world that we are back. We're not here to be cannon fodder. We're going to come out and we're going to have a proper go. And you know what? Even if we don't win, you're still going home with a scalping. You're going to be going home on that bus, on that plane, thinking, we done well to get a win there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great night again, Paddy. I think you're right in what you're saying. Everybody's going to show up here in a good atmosphere. If you take it, as you said, this 2 years ago, we'd all been dreading this game. We'd all be fearing the worst. We'd all be really, we'd obviously go and we support nonetheless, but I think the feeling would be more of a kind of an inevitability is going to come out of this game. But just now,
there's a Real Madrid supporters come up.
Oh, excellent.
Sorry for cutting you off there. I'll try and get them in there. Excuse the full language, you bastards!
Go ask them to come on my podcast.
What's that?
Go ask them to come on the podcast.
I swear fucking well. They're getting pumped!
They're making a decent bit of noise.
What Barca! Barcelona! Hey, Barca! Barcelona!
We might see a live beating from the Real Madrid fans on Paddy.
You might see a live beating of fucking 50 Spaniards.
So is that the lot of their support? Is that all they brought? Or do you
I don't know, mate. I don't know if there's more in the now, and that's just the kind of stragglers, but there's only about 30 or something there.
All right, so Paddy, I'll bring you up to the last question, the question that...
Sorry for cutting you off there, obviously.
No,
okay. Why stuff, mate? It happens, doesn't it?
We'll bring you to the last question then, just as we're approaching 7 o'clock tonight, 1 hour before kick-off at Celtic Park. What do you think the prediction score is going to be?
Right. I'm going to be romantic tonight.
Ooh. This is an adventurous one coming in then.
I'm going to be romantic tonight. I'm going to go for the whole romanticism of football. I am going to go for 2-1 Celtic.
I think 2-1 Celtic is a good shout. I love the optimism. I don't expect Celtic to get much out of this game, so I definitely don't expect Celtic to win 3-0 or anything like that. I do agree with you. We're capable of scoring tonight. Definitely capable of scoring. I think I'll go for a 2-2 draw.
Keep it safe, mate. Keep it safe. Sit in the fence. Scorers in. Scorers. Who's your scorers going to be?
I definitely think Abadi's going to get on the end of one, and then it's going to be it's going to be one of the other front two, Jota or Giamakis. But I think Abadi's drive, his determination to get forward, his power and his shot and everything, I think he's just going to frighten them. And he's going to make some space and get in the behind the back line, get a goal.
Interesting. I think you might be right, by the way. I think Abada might sneak in there. He's done it. He's ghosted in, finds the positions. So his movement is going to be frightening tonight, And they're going to have to be switched on as anybody, All the talks about us, how we're going to have to be so defensive. So will they.
And that's what I was saying back at this earlier on in the podcast. When it comes to the comparisons to Brendan Rodgers' team, we were way too happy to try and just let them have the ball and hope that if we got it, we could control the game a little bit. Nah, we're going to go straight into their faces. We're going to harass them. We're going to give them the high press and the high tempo. I think we're going to make life hard for them. They might still win this comfortably, but we'll make it hard for them, and we'll give them the fear of their life tonight, I think. Definitely.
Any idea who the referee is now?
I think he's a Switzerland boy. I think the VAR guy's Polish. I think the officials are from Switzerland. For what I could see on the, I think on your test one that you sent us in the group chat, assuming that's true. Which I would imagine that part would be true.
Well, we know the Swiss guys, they try and stay as impartial as possible. So hopefully no favouritism towards the Spaniards.
Of course. So just before we wrap up, last thing, Paddy, are you Gavin going to make an appearance after the game tonight? Should we?
Potentially, yes. Obviously, it depends what time Gav gets in and we can get set up and that. But if we're going to be on, you'll see the reminder of the kind of scheduled ticker on YouTube and Twitter and whatnot. But we'll try and do something if we can. But if not, we'll make it up these.
Yeah. So that's us from the Jungle Gyms podcast tonight on the 6th of September with the opening game against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Guys, enjoy the game while it comes. Thank you for joining us for this 25-minute podcast here. It has been short and brief, but we've loved having Paddy in the field. Perhaps we can get this more from Paddy.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Excellent.
Just another wee quick thing as well. Well done tonight, mate. Great host. Top notch.
Oh, thank you very much.
First,
Thank you very
first goal. Well done.
Had to break that, pop that cherry one day.
Yes, mate.
Everybody
You popped it very well.
Everybody,
A champagne. I bought a champagne.
Thank you very much, everybody. Hail, hail, and enjoy the game tonight.
Okay, man outs.